You want to know the exact moment my marriage died? It wasn't when I found the texts. It wasn't when I saw her car parked outside his apartment at midnight. It was when Natalie looked me dead in the eye and said, "If you really loved me, you'd let me check your phone right now." We were in bed. She'd been scrolling through social media for the past hour, her face lit up by that blue glow, occasionally snorting at something or furiously typing. I was reading a paperback thriller, some detective novel where the husband always knows less than he should. The irony wasn't lost on me later. "What?" I set down my book. "Your phone, Eli." She didn't look at me. Tara just found out her boyfriend was cheating. She said she had this feeling, this intuition, and she was right. That sucks for Tara. It's about trust. Now she turned, and her eyes had that hard edge I'd been seeing more often lately. Real couples have nothing to hide. They can check each other's phones anytime. I laughed. Laughed. Nat, we've been together 6 years, married for 3. When have I ever given you a reason to? See, you're getting defensive. She sat up, clutching her own phone to her chest like a shield. That's exactly what guilty people do. The thing about Natalie Whitaker, though she'd kept Reed professionally, was that she'd always been smarter than me. At least, that's what she'd spent 6 years making sure I knew. She was the project manager at Tech North Solutions, the biggest employer in our main town besides the paper mill. She wore blazers and heels, had a master's degree in business, drove a leased Audi. I was Eli Whitaker, contractor. I fixed roofs, installed decks, and spent my evenings in my basement workshop restoring old engines. My truck had rust spots. My hands had permanent grease under the nails. But I wasn't stupid. "Okay," I said, unlocking my phone and handing it over. "Knock yourself out." Her eyes widened. She hadn't expected that. She took it slowly, like it might be a trap, and started scrolling. I watched her face go through the stages. Suspicious, confused, then frustrated. "Accusing you of anything. You asked to see my phone, I'm asking to see yours. This is bullshit." She threw my phone at me, actually threw it, and it bounced off my chest onto the comforter. "I'm sleeping at Tara's tonight. I can't believe you'd make this about me when I was just trying to make sure we had a healthy relationship." She was out of bed, throwing clothes into an overnight bag. The whole performance took maybe 3 minutes. Then she was gone, her Audi's engine roaring to life in our driveway at 11:45 on a Tuesday night. I sat there in the sudden silence, holding my phone, and thought, well, that was interesting. Here's what you need to understand about me. I grew up in this town. My dad was a contractor before me, and his dad before him. I learned early that when you're working on someone's house, you see things. You learn to read people. You notice when the wife flinches at the husband's voice. You see the empty bottles hidden in the garage. You hear what people say when they think you're just the help, practically invisible. I'd gotten very good at being underestimated. So I didn't panic. I didn't call her. I didn't text. I just lay there, thinking about all the little things I'd been ignoring. The way she'd started dressing nicer for work. The late meetings that ran until 9, 10 at night. How she'd stopped asking about my day. The distance in her eyes when we had sex. When we had sex, which had become maybe twice a month. And that phone, always with her, always face down, always password protected. I must have dozed off eventually, because the next thing I knew, sunlight was streaming through the bedroom window and someone was knocking on my front door. Mrs. Donnelly. Our neighbor, a widow in her 70s who knew everything about everyone on our street. She was holding a casserole dish. "Morning, Eli. Brought you some breakfast strata. Saw Natalie leaving late last night. Everything okay?" This was Mrs. Donnelly's superpower, extracting information while seeming to offer comfort. Just a little argument. She stayed at her friend's place. "Ah," Mrs. Donnelly's eyes gleamed. "Well, I hope it wasn't about that Jake fellow. My heart did something funny. Jake? Natalie's phone had sent or received over 200 texts in the past month to a number I didn't recognize. Most of them late at night. Many of them after she'd told me she was going to bed. I sat at my kitchen table, drinking coffee that had gone cold, and stared at that number. I could call it, confront whoever answered, but that seemed hasty. Instead, I went down to my basement workshop. People think contractors are just muscle and tools. They don't realize how much of the job is problem solving. You've got to understand systems, electrical, plumbing, structural. You've got to plan 3 steps ahead, and you've got to have the right equipment. I had a lot of equipment. Natalie had left her work tablet at home. She always did on days she worked from the office, said it was too heavy to carry both the tablet and her laptop. It was sitting on her desk in our spare bedroom, plugged in and charging. The password was our anniversary. She'd never changed it. I opened her email first. Nothing obviously incriminating, but there were a lot of messages to and from someone named Jake Callahan at a company called Summit Sales Solutions. They were professional on the surface, but there was something about the tone. Too many exclamation points. Too many late-night timestamps. Then I found her text messages backed up to her cloud account. Jake, missing you already. Tonight was amazing. Natalie, I know. I wish I didn't have to go home. Jake, so don't. Leave him. You said you were going to. Natalie, it's complicated. The house is in both our names. I need to figure out the finances first. Jake, I'll take care of you, baby. You know that. The messages went back 3 months. 3 months of I love you and explicit photos and plans to meet up. 3 months of Natalie telling this Jake guy that she was going to leave me, that I was holding her back, that I was sweet but limited, that she deserved more. I read every single message, all of them. It took 2 hours. Then I went upstairs, ate Mrs. Donnelly's casserole, and called my friend Red. Yo, Eli, what's up? You still know that guy who does computer stuff? Phone recovery and all that? Mikey? Yeah, why? I need a favor. A big one. Concern right now. She's cheating on me with some guy named Jake Callahan. I've seen the messages on her tablet. I need to know everything. Where they're meeting, what they're planning. All of it. Red's grin faded. Shit, man. I'm sorry. Don't be sorry. Help me. He did. It took 3 days and cost me $400 paid to his guy Mikey, but by Friday afternoon I had an app on my phone that showed me every text, call, and location ping from Natalie's phone in real time. The things I learned. Jake Callahan was 28, drove a leased Mustang he couldn't really afford, and lived in a shitty apartment complex on the east side of town. He sold commercial insurance, or tried to. His social media was all motivational quotes and pictures of him at the gym. He looked exactly like what he was, a guy who thought his jawline was a personality. Natalie went to his apartment every Tuesday and Thursday, the days she told me she had late meetings. She'd stay for 2 or 3 hours, then come home and act normal. She'd kiss my cheek, ask what I made for dinner, complain about her boss. And the messages. God, the messages. Natalie, Eli's being suspicious. Asked to see my phone last night. Jake, what did you do? Natalie, threw a fit and left. Stayed at Tara's. He backed down like always. Jake, good. Keep him off balance until we figure out the house situation. My buddy's a lawyer. He said you might be able to claim emotional abuse or something. Natalie, really? Jake, yeah. Like financial control, isolation, that kind of thing. Even if it's not true, it muddies the water. Makes it easier for you to get more in the divorce. I read that sitting in my truck outside a job site. Had to read it 3 times before it sank in. They weren't just having an affair. They were planning to destroy me. That night, Natalie came home cheerful. She'd thought about things and decided we should work on communication. She made pasta. We watched a movie. She fell asleep with her head on my shoulder. I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, and planned. The thing about revenge is that it's not about anger. Anger is hot and stupid and gets you arrested. Real revenge is cold. Come and go from the complex. A mom with 2 kids, an old guy walking a dog. Normal people living their normal lives, not knowing that in apartment 2C, my wife was fucking some douchebag who thought he was a player. When Natalie finally left, her hair was messed up and she was smiling at her phone, probably reading texts from Jake about how great she was. I didn't follow her home. Instead, I walked up to Jake's apartment and knocked. He answered in basketball shorts and no shirt, probably expecting Natalie had forgotten something. When he saw me, his face went through a whole journey: confusion, recognition, fear. "Can I help you?" He tried to sound tough, but his voice cracked. "Jake Callahan?" "Who's asking?" "Eli Whitaker. I think you know my wife." He tried to close the door. I put my boot in the way. Steel toe, heavy, the kind you wear on construction sites. The door bounced off it. "We should talk," I said. "I don't know what you're talking about, man. You need to leave." Natalie Reed, project manager at Tech North, drives an Audi. Left here about 10 minutes ago, smelling like your cheap cologne. Ring any bells? The color drained from his face. "Look, I don't want any trouble." "Too late for that." I smiled. It wasn't a nice smile. "But here's the thing, Jake. I'm not here to beat you up. I'm not going to threaten you. I just wanted to see what kind of man steals another man's wife." I looked him up and down slowly, making sure he felt it. "Honestly, I expected more. Have a good day." I walked away, heard him slam the door behind me, heard the deadbolt click. I'd planted the seed. Let him sweat. Let him tell Natalie that I knew. Let them panic and make mistakes. Because that's when I'd really go to work. That night, Natalie's phone blew up. I watched the messages come through on my clone app. "Jake, your husband was just here." Natalie. "What?" "Jake, he knows. He knows everything. He came to my apartment." Natalie. "What did you tell him?" Jake. "Nothing. I didn't say anything. But he..." Tomorrow. It's been forever since we did something fun together. The Fall Festival. The biggest event in our town, held every year on Main Street. Hundreds of people, vendors, live music, the kind of place where everyone would see us together. She wanted to be seen with me, to look like the perfect couple, to control the narrative in case I started talking. "Sure," I said. "Sounds great." Her smile was radiant. "Perfect. I'll make us brunch first." She kissed my cheek and went to bed. I stayed up, scrolling through more messages, learning more about their plans. Tara Sloan, Natalie's best friend, was in on it. She worked in HR at Tech North and had been coaching Natalie on how to build a case for hostile home environment or some bullshit. They'd been documenting every argument, every time I'd asked where she was, every time I'd questioned her spending. They were building a file to use against me in divorce court. But here's what they didn't know. I was building a file too. Red's guy Mikey had set me up with a program that backed up everything from Natalie's phone to a secure cloud account. Every text, every photo, every deleted message. It was all saved, time-stamped, and completely admissible in a divorce proceeding. I also bought 3 tiny cameras online, the kind that look like phone chargers or USB drives. I planted one in Natalie's car, one in her purse, and one in our bedroom. If they wanted documentation, I'd give them documentation. Sunday morning, Natalie made pancakes and bacon. She was in full performance mode, laughing, touching my arm, talking about maybe taking a vacation this winter. Anyone watching would have thought we were the happiest couple in Maine. We drove to the festival in my truck. She held my hand, smiled at neighbors, waved at people from her office. And then Jake showed up. He was with a group of guys, all of them dressed in the same kind of expensive casual wear, designer jeans, leather jackets, sunglasses, even though it was overcast. They were loud, laughing, taking up space. Natalie's hand tightened on mine. "We should go look at the crafts," she said quickly. "In a minute. I want to check out the tool apartment complex yesterday." "What year is that?" One of Jake's friends laughed. "You went to his apartment? Dude, We should go," Natalie said. Her voice was tight. "In a second, babe." I kept my eyes on Jake. "I was just thinking, Jake, you should come by sometime. I've got a great workshop in my basement. I restore old engines. Maybe I could teach you something about how things work. You know, loyalty, trust, the importance of not touching things that don't belong to you." Jake's jaw clenched. "I don't know what you're trying to say, man, but I'm not trying to say anything. I'm saying it." I smiled. "Stay away from my wife." I turned to walk away. As I did, I accidentally bumped into Jake's arm, causing him to spill his beer down the front of his expensive jacket. "Oh, shit. Sorry about that." I grabbed some napkins from a nearby vendor and made a show of trying to help clean it up, smearing the beer around even more. Man, that's going to stain. Those leather jackets are expensive, too. "What did that run you? $2,000? Jake shoved my hand away. "Just back off." People were watching now. A small crowd had gathered, sensing drama. "Hey, I'm trying to help." I held up my hands. "No need to get aggressive, buddy. You're the one who came over here. I was just being friendly." "Natalie, did I do something wrong?" She was frozen, caught between defending me and protecting Jake. Her face was red. "Let's just go," she said. As we walked away, I heard Jake's friends giving him shit. "Dude, who was that? Why was he at your apartment? Are you banging his wife?" Jake would have to explain, would have to lie, and his friends would wonder. First crack in Natalie's perfect image. We walked in silence for a few minutes. Then Natalie exploded. "What the hell was that?" "What? I was being nice." "You embarrassed him in front of everyone." "Did I?" "I just asked about his car. Not my fault he spilled his drink." "You did that on purpose, Eli." "Prove it." I stopped walking and looked at her. "Actually, while we're on the subject, why do you care so much about whether I embarrassed Jake Callahan?" She opened her mouth, closed it. Her brain was working overtime, trying to find the right response. That night, I watched the messages fly between Natalie and Jake. Natalie: "He's on to us. We need to be more careful." Jake: "More careful? He came to the festival and humiliated me. Your husband is psycho." Natalie: "He's not psycho. He's just suspicious. We can still make this work." Jake: "I don't know. Maybe we should cool it for a while." Natalie: "Don't you dare. I'm not staying in this marriage. We stick to the plan." And then a message to Tara. Natalie: "Eli's getting suspicious. Can you help me document some stuff? I need to build a case." Tara: "What kind of stuff?" Natalie: "Financial control, maybe? He makes me feel bad about spending money on myself." Tara: "Does he actually control your money?" Natalie: "Not exactly, but I can spin it that way. I need leverage." I screenshotted everything, backed it all up, and started planning phase 2. On a Monday morning, Natalie went to work like nothing had happened. She kissed my cheek, told me she'd be home late. Actual meeting this time, I promise, and drove off in her Audi. I waited an hour, then called Red. "I need your truck tonight, and I need you." "What are we doing?" "Repo job." Red laughed. "This I gotta hear. Here's something most people don't know. Natalie's Audi wasn't in her name. It was in Jake's. I'd found the paperwork in her email. Apparently, Jake had co-signed the lease to help her get a better rate, back when they'd first started their affair and he was still trying to impress her. The payments came out of Natalie's account, but legally the car was Jake's responsibility. And Jake, according to his credit report, which Red's guy Mikey had pulled for another $200, was 3 months behind on his Mustang payment and 2 months behind on the Audi. The dealership would be thrilled to get their car back. That evening, while Natalie was at Jake's apartment, I watched her location ping on my phone. Red and I drove to the Tech North parking lot. Natalie's Audi was sitting in her assigned spot, gleaming under the parking lot lights. "You sure about this?" Red asked. "Completely. It took him 15 minutes to hook it up, and when? Natalie: "Last night. The police said they'll look for it, but I'm screwed. Jake. Shit. Okay, don't panic. Natalie. Easy for you to say. How am I supposed to get around? Jake. I'll come pick you up for work. Natalie. You can't. People will see. Jake. Then take an Uber. I'll help with the cost. Natalie. You'll help? That's my car, Jake. Jake. Actually, it's kind of my car too. On paper. Natalie. What? Jake. The lease is in my name, remember? You're just the one making payments. Natalie. So help me get it back. Jake. I don't know how. If it was stolen, it was stolen. 3 hours later, Jake got a call from the dealership. They'd repossessed the Audi due to non-payment. If he wanted it back, he'd need to pay the outstanding balance plus fees. $8,000. Jake didn't have $8,000. Natalie. You let them repo my car? Jake. I didn't let them do anything. I didn't know they were going to. Natalie. You're 3 months behind on payments. Jake. I've been having cash flow issues, you know that. Natalie. This is unbelievable. I'm paying for that car. Jake. Then you should have put it in your name. Natalie. I couldn't because my credit was shit, remember? Because of my student loans. Jake. Well, now we're both screwed. I watched this unfold from my basement workshop, drinking a beer, feeling pretty good about life. But I wasn't done. That afternoon, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. Is this Eli Whitaker? Speaking. This is Dennis DeWitt, VP of Operations at Tech North Solutions. I'm Natalie's supervisor. My heart rate kicked up. Is everything okay? That's what I'm trying to determine. There was an incident at our fall festival booth this weekend. Several employees reported seeing Natalie in what appeared to be a confrontation with you and another individual. A confrontation? We were just talking. The other individual was Jake Callahan. Are you aware that Mr. Callahan has been visiting our offices frequently to meet with Natalie? I wasn't, no. I see. Home in an Uber. She looked exhausted. How was work? I asked. Fine. Just fine? I don't want to talk about it. She went straight upstairs. I heard the shower running for a long time. Later, I checked the messages. Natalie. DeWitt called me into his office. He knows about Jake. Tara. What? Natalie. Someone told him. He asked about Jake visiting the office. Asked if we were having an inappropriate relationship. Tara. What did you say? Natalie. I denied it. Said Jake was just a vendor contact, but he didn't believe me. He's putting me on notice. Tara. This is bad. Natalie. No shit. If I lose my job, I lose everything. The house, the divorce settlement, all of it. Tara. Could Eli have said something? Natalie. How would he know? Tara. I don't know, but this is too convenient. Right after the festival thing? Natalie. He's not smart enough to put this together. That line stung more than I expected. After 6 years, she really thought I was stupid. I'd show her stupid. The next day, I called Jake's landlord. I'd gotten his number from the building directory when I'd visited Jake's apartment. Hi, this is Eli Whitaker. I'm a contractor. I was visiting a friend in your building and noticed some concerning structural issues in Unit 2C. What kind of issues? Water damage around the windows. Possible mold. I'd hate to see it get worse. You might want to send an inspector. The landlord thanked me and said he'd look into it. 2 days later, Jake got an eviction notice. Not for non-payment, he was current on rent, but for health and safety violations. The inspector had found black mold in the walls and ceiling. The unit was uninhabitable. Jake had 30 days to vacate. Jake. I'm being evicted. Natalie. What? Jake. Mold in the apartment. They say it's not safe. I have to be out by the end of the month. Natalie. Where are you going to go? Jake. I don't know. I can't afford first and last on a new place right now. Natalie. This is a nightmare. Jake. Tell me about it. Everything's falling apart. Natalie. We need today. I went upstairs, leaving her standing in the kitchen in her lingerie, holding a glass of wine. The messages that night were vicious. Natalie. He rejected me, completely shut me down. Tara. What? Natalie. I tried to have sex with him and he went to bed, just walked away. Tara. Maybe he really does know. Natalie. Then why isn't he saying anything? Tara. I don't know, but this is freaking me out. What if he's planning something? Natalie. Like what? He's a contractor. What's he going to do? Famous last words. The thing about being underestimated is that it gives you freedom. People don't guard themselves around you. They say things, do things, assume you're not paying attention or not smart enough to connect the dots. Natalie had been underestimating me for 6 years. Now it was time to collect on that mistake. I've been documenting everything. The affair, the plot to frame me, Tara's involvement, Jake's financial problems. But documentation wasn't enough. I needed them to destroy themselves, publicly, completely, in a way they couldn't spin or explain away. I needed them to implode. Red came over on Saturday morning. Natalie was at the gym, or so she said. Her phone's GPS put her at Jake's apartment. So what's the play? Red asked, cracking open a beer even though it was 10 a.m. I need to get Jake alone. Really alone. Somewhere he can't run. Your workshop? Too obvious. If something happens, I don't want it traced back here. Red grinned. I know a place. The place was an old warehouse on the edge of town, abandoned for the past 5 years. Red had used it a few times to store vehicles for his tow business. It was isolated, private, and had no security cameras. How do we get him there? Red asked. Leave that to me. That afternoon, I sent Jake a text from a burner phone I'd bought at Walmart. This is Natalie's friend. She's in trouble. She asked me to get you. Meet me at 447 Industrial Road. Come alone. Don't tell anyone. I watched my clone app. Jake saw the message. Hesitated. Then, Jake to Natalie. We'll have to send a tow truck to your workplace. I'm sure you don't want that. Silence. Then, where's your office? I gave him the warehouse address. That's not where your office is. I've been there before. We moved last month. New location. I can send you a confirmation email if you'd like. Fine. What time? 5 p.m. Ask for Brad. He showed up at 5:15, driving his Mustang, looking nervous and angry. The warehouse parking lot was empty, except for Red's tow truck, hidden around the side. Jake got out of his car slowly, looking around. Hello? I stepped out from inside the warehouse. Hey, Jake. He froze. What the hell? Where's Brad? There is no Brad. It's just you and me. He backed toward his car. I'm leaving. You should. But first, let's talk about Natalie. I don't know what you're talking about. Sure you do. You've been sleeping with my wife for 3 months. You've been helping her build a fake case against me so she can divorce me and take everything. You've been telling her I'm limited and she deserves better. Ring any bells? His face went white. How do I know? I held up my phone. Because I know everything, Jake. Every text, every lie, every plan. You're crazy. Am I? Let me show you something. I played a recording from one of my hidden cameras. Natalie and Jake in his apartment, talking about me. Natalie's voice. He's so clueless. I could probably clean out our bank account and he wouldn't notice for a week. Jake's voice. When are you going to leave him? Natalie's voice. Soon. I just need to make sure I get the house. My lawyer said if I can prove emotional abuse, I'll have a better case. Jake's voice. Is he abusive? Natalie's voice. Does it matter? Jake stared at the phone. Where did you get that? I'm a contractor. I know how to install things. Cameras, for example. That's illegal. So is adultery in Maine. So is conspiracy to commit fraud. So is about a dozen other things you and Natalie have been doing. He looked around, panicked. What do you want? Your employer, your family, and every person you know. I'll make sure everyone understands exactly what kind of man you are. You can't. I absolutely can, and I will. But if you walk away right now, if you ghost her and never look back, I'll keep this between us. He stood there, shaking. She'll come after me. She'll want to know why. Tell her you met someone else. Tell her you're moving. Tell her whatever you want. Just make it clear that you're done. And if I don't, I stepped closer, then I'll destroy you, Jake. Not with my fists. I don't need to. I'll destroy your reputation, your credit, your job prospects. I'll make sure that every time someone Googles your name, this story comes up. You'll be the guy who tried to steal another man's wife and got caught. How's that going to play in sales? He swallowed hard. Okay. Okay, what? Okay, I'll stay away from her. Good man. I patted his shoulder. He flinched. Oh, and Jake, if you warn her that I know, if you tell her about this conversation, the deal's off. Understand? He nodded. Great. Now get out of here. He practically ran to his car. I watched him peel out of the parking lot, tires squealing. Red emerged from the shadows. That was cold, man. Had to be. Think he'll keep his word? For a while. Long enough for what I need. That night, I watched the messages. Jake, we need to talk. Natalie, about what? Jake, I can't do this anymore. Natalie, can't do what? Jake, this, us. I'm done. Natalie, what the hell are you talking about? Jake, I'm seeing someone else. It just happened. I'm sorry. Natalie, you're what? Jake, I didn't mean for it to happen, but I can't keep doing this behind your husband's back. It's too much. Natalie, are you kidding me right now? After everything we've been through? Jake, I'm sorry. I have to go. Natalie, don't you dare ignore me. Jake, answer me. But Jake didn't answer. He'd blocked her. Lunchtime. You okay? I'm fine. You don't look fine. I said I'm fine, Eli. She threw a pillow at me. Just leave me alone. I left her alone. That evening, I got a call from Tara. Eli, it's Tara Sloan, Natalie's friend. I know who you are. Right. Listen, I'm worried about Natalie. She's really going through something. I think maybe you two should talk. About what? About your marriage. About how you treat her. How I treat her? Yes. She's been telling me things. About how controlling you are. How you make her feel trapped. That's interesting. What else has she been telling you? That you check her phone. That you question where she goes. That you make her account for every dollar she spends. Tara, I've asked to see her phone once. She refused and left the house. I've never questioned her spending. And she makes more money than I do, so I couldn't control it if I wanted to. That's not what she says. I'm sure it's not. But here's a question for you. Did Natalie mention Jake Callahan? Excel. Did she mention that she's been having an affair with him for 3 months? That they've been planning to divorce me and take everything I have? That you've been helping her build a false case of abuse? I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, you do. And I have proof. Every text message, every conversation, every piece of advice you gave her about manipulating HR policies. Her voice went cold. Are you threatening me? I'm informing you. Because when this all comes out, and it will, you're going to have to explain to your employer why you helped an employee fabricate an abuse case against her spouse. That's a fireable offense, Tara. Probably a legal one, too. You can't prove any of this. Want to bet? I hung up. 10 minutes later, Tara called Natalie. Your husband just called me. What? Why? He knows, Nat. He knows about Jake. He knows about everything. That's impossible. He has proof. He says he has messages. How? I don't know, but I can't be involved in this anymore. I could lose my job. You're abandoning me too? I'm protecting myself. You should have been more careful. I can't believe this. I'm sorry. You're on your own. Stability. A house. Someone who won't leave you. That's not true. Then why did you cheat? She didn't have an answer. Why did you plan to frame me for abuse? I never... Don't lie. I have the messages. All of them. You and Jake, you and Tara. Every single conversation about how you are going to destroy me and take everything. Her face went pale. How? Does it matter? You spied on me? You cheated on me. You plotted against me. You tried to ruin my life. But sure, let's focus on the fact that I found out. She started crying. Big, dramatic sobs. The kind she used to use when she wanted sympathy. It didn't work anymore. I want a divorce, I said. No, please, we can fix this. There's nothing to fix. This marriage is over. You can move out, or I can. Either way, we're done. I have nowhere to go. That's not my problem. Eli, please. She grabbed my arm. I'll do anything. I'll end things with Jake. Jake already ended things with you. She stopped crying. What? He dumped you. Said he met someone else. But that's not true. I met with him. I showed him what you really think of him. How you were using him. He wanted nothing to do with you after that. You talked to Jake? I did. And I talked to Tara. And I talked to your boss. I've been very busy, Natalie. She backed away from me. What did you do? I protected myself. That's all. I made sure that when this all comes out, everyone knows the truth. You bastard. I'm the bastard? That's rich. She lunged at me, actually tried to hit me. I caught her wrists easily. Don't, I said quietly. Don't give me a reason to call the police. I hate you. I know. You've made that very clear. I let go of her wrists. She stumbled back, breathing hard. You're going to pay for this, she said. Am I? How? I'll tell everyone you abused me. I'll tell them you were controlling. Spent the day making calls. To Natalie's family. To our mutual friends. To people at her office. We didn't tell them everything. Just enough. That Natalie had been having an affair. That she'd been planning to falsely accuse me of abuse. That we were getting divorced. We sent screenshots. Not the explicit ones. Just the planning conversations. The ones where she and Tara discussed how to spin things. The ones where she called me limited and clueless. Botch time, Natalie's phone was blowing up. Her mother. Is this true? Were you cheating on Eli? Her sister. I can't believe you would do this. Her college friend. I thought you were better than this, Nat. Natalie tried to call me. I didn't answer. She texted. What did you do? I replied. I told the truth. That's all. Natalie. You're destroying my life. Me. No. You destroyed your life. I'm just making sure everyone knows it. That afternoon, I got a call from Mr. DeWitt. Eli, it's Dennis DeWitt. I wanted to let you know that we've completed our investigation into Natalie and Tara's conduct. And Tara has been terminated for violating company ethics policies. Natalie has been placed on administrative leave, pending a final decision. I appreciate you telling me. I also wanted to apologize. It's clear that Natalie misrepresented her situation. If she'd been honest, we could have addressed this more appropriately. I understand. For what it's worth, I think you handled this with remarkable restraint. Thank you. After we hung up, I allowed myself a small smile. Natalie came home at 6 p.m. She looked destroyed. Makeup smeared, eyes swollen, hands shaking. They fired Tara, she said. I heard. They're probably going to fire me, too. Probably. Everyone knows. Everyone. My family, my friends, people at work. They all think I'm a monster. Are you? She collapsed onto the couch. What do you want from me, Eli? You've taken everything. My car, my job, my reputation. What else is there? I want you to understand what you did. I want you to feel what I felt when I found... This morning, I filed a restraining order. You threatened me last night, remember? In front of my security camera. Her face went white. You recorded that? I record everything now. Learned that from you. I walked out. I stayed at Red's place for 3 days. On Friday afternoon, I went back home. Natalie was still there. Her stuff was everywhere. Clothes, boxes, papers. She was sitting on the couch, staring at her phone. I told you to be gone, I said. I have nowhere to go. Not my problem. My parents won't talk to me. My sister blocked my number. I can't afford a hotel. What am I supposed to do? Figure it out. You're a smart woman. You'll think of something. I lost my job today. They fired me. I'm sorry to hear that. No, you're not. She was right. I wasn't. You need to leave, Natalie. Or what? You'll call the cops? Go ahead. I'll tell them you've been harassing me, stalking me, recording me without consent, recording you in my own house, which is legal in Maine, and I have documentation of everything you've done, every threat, every lie. You really want to go to the police? Be my guest. She stood up. I'm not leaving. Then I'll make you leave. I pulled out my phone and started recording. Natalie Whitaker, I'm asking you to leave my property. You have refused. I'm now calling the police to have you removed. You're bluffing. I dialed 911. Wait. She grabbed my arm. Okay, I'll go. Good choice. She started throwing things into bags, crying the whole time, making a scene. This is all your fault, she said. If you'd just been a better husband, stop. Just stop. Take responsibility for once in your life. I made a mistake. You made 100 mistakes, and you only care now because you got caught. She zipped up her bag. Where am I supposed to go? There's a motel on Route 1. Start there. I don't have money for a motel. I pulled out my wallet, handed her $200. This is the last thing I'll ever give you. Use it wisely. She took the money, looked at it, looked at me. I really did love you once, she said quietly. Maybe, but not enough. Paradeth. I watched her drive away in sighs. Everyone always knows. She walked straight to me. We need to talk. No, we don't. Eli, please. Just 5 minutes. Natalie, go home. I don't have a home. You took it from me. You took it from yourself. Everyone's staring. Let them stare. You wanted attention. Now you have it. She looked around the bar, at all the faces watching her, judging her. I just wanted to be happy, she said. Then you should have left me, honestly, instead of cheating and lying and trying to destroy me. I know I messed up. But did you have to ruin my entire life? I didn't ruin your life. I just stopped protecting you from the consequences of your choices. Jake walked in. Of all the timing, of all the places. He saw Natalie, saw me, turned to leave. Jake! Natalie called out. Jake, wait! He kept walking. She ran after him. Jake, please, we need to talk. I have nothing to say to you. You can't just abandon me. Watch me. I left my husband for you. I never asked you to do that. The whole bar was watching now. This was better than cable. You said you loved me. Natalie's voice was getting shrill. I lied. I say a lot of things to get what I want. You should know. You do the same thing. She slapped him. Hard. The sound echoed through the bar. Jake touched his cheek. You're crazy. I'm crazy? You ruined my life. You ruined your own life, Natalie. You cheated on your husband. You got caught. That's on you. I did it for you. No, you did it for yourself. Because you wanted something exciting, something new. Well, congratulations. You got it. He walked out. Natalie stood there, breathing hard, tears streaming down her face. Then she turned to the bar, to all of us watching. What are you all looking at? Nobody answered. You're all pathetic. Sitting here in this dive bar, judging me, like your lives are so perfect. Mrs. Donnelly, of all people, was sitting in a corner booth. Honey, maybe past 10 minutes. Chief Brooks held up his hand. One at a time. Red stepped forward. Chief, Natalie Whitaker threw a glass at Eli. Assault. Multiple witnesses. That true? Brooks looked at me. It's true. He looked at Natalie. Ma'am, I'm going to need you to come with me. I didn't do anything. You just assaulted someone in a room full of witnesses. He deserved it. He ruined my life. That may be, but you still can't throw things at people. He took her arm. She tried to pull away. Don't make this harder than it needs to be, Brooks said. She finally stopped fighting, let him lead her to the door. As she passed me, she stopped. This isn't over. Yeah, it is. Brooks walked her out. The bar erupted in conversation. Red clapped me on the shoulder. Hell of a show. Wasn't planning that. Made it even better. Mike brought me a fresh beer. On the house. Thanks. Mrs. Donnelly came over. You handled that well, Eli. Did I? You didn't hit her. Didn't yell. Just let her destroy herself. That takes character. Or stubbornness. She patted my hand. Same thing sometimes. I sat there for another hour, accepting condolences and congratulations from people I'd known my whole life. Some of them had always liked Natalie. Some had never trusted her. All of them had opinions. But here's the thing I realized. Sitting in that bar, drinking that beer, surrounded by people who'd watched me grow up, I didn't need revenge anymore. I'd already gotten it. Natalie had lost her job, her friends, her reputation. She'd lost the respect of her family. She'd lost Jake, who she'd thrown everything away for. She'd lost her home. She'd lost everything that mattered to her. And I'd lost nothing but a wife who didn't love me. That seemed like a fair trade. Red drove me home around midnight. The house was quiet, empty. Mine. I went down to my workshop, turned on the lights, looked at all my tools, my projects, my space. This was who I was, not Natalie's husband. Calling from other numbers. I blocked those too. She showed up at the house. I didn't answer the door. She sent emails. I filtered them to spam. Eventually, she gave up. I heard through the grapevine that she moved 2 towns over, got a job at a smaller company, kept her head down, stopped using social media. Jake left town entirely. Heard he went to Boston. Good riddance. Tara got a job in HR at a hospital. Apparently, she's good at it, when she's not helping people commit fraud. As for me, I'm still here, still fixing roofs and building decks, still going to the last call on Friday nights, still living in my house with my workshop and my tools and my peace of mind. People ask if I'm dating. Not yet. Maybe someday. But I'm not in a hurry. I spent 6 years with someone who made me feel small, who made me doubt myself, who underestimated me at every turn. Never again. The next woman I love will be someone who sees me, really sees me, not as a safety net or a backup plan or someone to settle for. Someone who understands that being underestimated is a choice I make, not a limitation I have. Someone who knows that the quiet guy in the corner with grease under his nails might just be the smartest person in the room. Until then, I'm good. I've got my work, my friends, my town. And I've got the satisfaction of knowing that when someone tried to destroy me, I didn't just survive. I won. 3:06, 3 months after Natalie left, I was working on a deck for a client across town. Nice lady, divorced, 2 kids. She brought me lemonade and asked about my day. I heard about what happened with your wife, she said. I'm sorry. Don't be. I'm not. That's a healthy attitude. Took me a while to get there. She smiled. Well, for what it's worth, I think she made a huge mistake. Appreciate that. I mean it. You're a good guy, Eli Whitaker. Don't let one bad experience make you forget that. I thought about that a lot over the next few weeks. Maybe she was right. Maybe I was a good guy. Maybe I deserved better than what Natalie gave me. Maybe phone and smiled. Maybe this was the real ending. Not revenge, not destruction. Just moving on. Just being happy. Just winning by living well. I raised my beer to the empty workshop. Here's to loyalty, I said to no one, and to knowing when to check the fine print. Natalie's trip was over. Mine was just beginning.